This is a video about vocal coaches. After my last video about my singing transformation, I got a lot of requests. Okay, I got 3 requests to make a video about why vocal coaches, especially YouTube vocal coaches, are unhelpful for beginners. This is a bit of a complex topic because there's 2 types of vocal coaches. There's actual vocal coaches who may or may not be on YouTube and really know what they're talking about. And then there are vocal coaches who make YouTube content. I've never hired a real vocal coach for reasons I'll talk about shortly, but I have used a lot of YouTube vocal coaching tutorials in the past, which I touched on in my last video. I'm not going to name any names because I want this to be kind of like more of an uplifting, positive vibe on my channel. I don't want to put anyone specifically on blast. However, neither type of vocal coach is appropriate for beginners. So let's get into why that is. What is the difference between a voice coach and a voice teacher? So I found this Reddit post that had a pretty good explanation, and I'll leave the link below, but TLDR, vocal coaches are going to help you with performance and vocal interpretation, the style of performing, if you will, while a voice teacher is focused on voice technique, anatomy, and how to produce a healthy sound. To quote this Reddit post, if you need help with technique aspects or are more of a beginner looking to polish the coordinations of the voice, book a voice teacher. If you're more of an intermediate singer or advanced singer looking for more style or performance-based knowledge, book a vocal coach. So to me, booking a vocal coach would kind of be like hiring a calculus tutor for your 6-year-old child who hasn't even learned addition and subtraction yet, instead of just taking them to grade school. A calculus teacher is meant to add to pre-existing mathematical knowledge, not teach you addition and subtraction. You pay for a coaching session when you want to prepare for a performance and polish your musicality and interpretation, which is very different from a voice teacher. A good voice teacher, like Michelle and Robert, hi, will build your technique from the ground up. Do you know how to match a pitch or count a rhythm? You probably need to learn how to do this before you can work on things like musical interpretation. To me, it makes more sense just to hire a voice teacher from the get-go when you're a beginner, which is why I've never hired a vocal coach, as I said in the beginning. So now that we've talked about real vocal coaches, let's talk about vocal coaches on YouTube. There are definitely some vocal coaches on YouTube whose content I wholeheartedly enjoy, and I think that they really know what they're talking about. However, I think it is just that. Content. Something to fill the time in your day when you're too tired to do something difficult and meaningful and you want to numb your brain and forget about the shitty day you're having. It should not be a substantial part of your voice education. At best, a voice teacher on YouTube does know what they're talking about, so let's assume that this is the case. So you follow a voice warm-up video by a knowledgeable voice coach. For each exercise, does the video talk about how to form your mouth, your tongue, your throat, your diaphragm? Does it show you where you're supposed to be focusing your airflow and your vibrations? If it does, how do you know if you're executing it correctly? Do you know how to apply that technique to a song? These were issues I was constantly running into when I was trying to use voice videos to teach myself to sing. I had no idea what I was doing. I was basically trying to just follow the YouTube tutorial and hoping I was doing it right. Sometimes I felt like it was really helping, and other times I found that I was really struggling, but I wasn't sure why I was struggling. I would never be able to figure out what conditions made some practice sessions better than others. And most of the practice sessions that I had left me with a hoarse voice, as if I had been shouting at a concert or football stadium for 3 hours. Furthermore, I would try a bunch of different videos from different voice coaches, not understanding that all of these voice coaches come from different schools of thought on voice pedagogy, so I was probably getting conflicting information. This is why, at best, a YouTube vocal coach with the best intentions and all the knowledge in the world will never be a substitute for a voice teacher. A voice teacher could teach you a consistent method based on your current level and give you live feedback so you can keep improving and get you to the next level, because you don't even know what level you're at right now. You kind of need somebody to listen to your voice and assess that for you. Now that we've talked about good YouTube vocal coaches, we have to talk about the grifters. As a beginner who knew nothing about vocal pedagogy or healthy vocal technique, I would never have been able to tell if a vocal coach was just making shit up. I thought, if they say they're a vocal coach and film all these reaction videos and transformation videos with their students, they must be good. Professional teachers who can produce good results. But that's just the issue. Literally anyone can say they are a vocal coach. There is absolutely nothing that would stop me from coming online saying that I am a vocal coach. and I could film video tutorials of me singing scales. I could even develop an online course and sell it to you for hundreds of dollars. I could say that it improves some nebulous concept like vocal agility or hitting high notes. You might see this and say, you know what, a one-time payment of a few $100s is a lot cheaper than trying to pay over $400 a month for lessons. Why not just get the one class and pay one time? So you'll buy it, you'll follow that course for a few months. You might say you think you notice an improvement, but you don't really know an improvement in what. Like, is it your tone? Is it your intonation? Is it your vibrato? Do you feel like your tension has decreased? Do you even know how you improved? So you can't say for sure how you improved or if you improved at all. And you're not sure if it's the fact that I scammed you or the fact that you just suck at singing. The reality is you don't know if any given video or online class for that matter is appropriate for you and your voice. And you don't know if it's going to build off the last video you saw or teach you a completely opposite method. On top of that, you don't know if you're following the video correctly or not because it's a recorded video and it's never going to be able to react to your singing and tell you how to improve. I also must emphasize that there are absolutely no regulations on marketing yourself on the internet as a vocal coach. There's no requirements, no board, no enforced standards. Nothing. So just be careful out there when you're considering using a YouTube tutorial or buying an online class. Knowing what I know now, I would have started with a voice teacher much sooner instead of wasting my time with online tutorials. So whether we're talking about a real vocal coach with tons of performing experience or a vocal coach who is just online trying to sell you stuff, I don't think either of those are really appropriate for beginners who are actually wanting to take singing seriously or improve their singing. At best, they'll help you with interpretation and performance aspects of a piece. At worst, they're scamming you on the internet and they're not real vocal coaches. So that's why I said what I said in my previous video about why vocal coaches are kind of bad for beginners and why a voice coach is nowhere near the same thing as a voice teacher. This is just what I found in my research and in talking to my voice teachers on top of my experience with online tutorials versus taking real lessons. I feel like you can see that in that transformation video from before. Like there's a huge difference and there's a reason why. And hopefully this video kind of explains that. I hope that made sense. If you disagree with anything, feel free to say in the comments. Thanks for watching!